Wat hoopt Trump te bereiken met het dichtdraaien van de geldkraan bij de WHO? Welkom bij Uitgelicht. Goedenavond. De Verenigde Staten zijn kritisch op de corona-aanpak van de Wereldgezondheidsorganisatie en China. Volgens president Trump houdt de WHO China de hand boven het hoofd en draaide dus de Amerikaanse geldkraan aan de WHO dicht. In de studio Piet Hoekstra, de Amerikaanse ambassadeur in Nederland. Good evening, Mr. Hoekstra.
That's way too serious.
Way too serious?
Het is Koningsweek. Ik had een vriend met mij vandaag.
Winnie the Pooh.
Ja,
Okay.
met de berenjacht.
Turn him around and
Met de berenjacht. De kinderen kunnen Winnie the Pooh wel vinden op nummer 4, Tobias Asselaan in Den Haag.
That's the resident.
That's the resident.
Yeah, you have it for your window.
They can find him in the window.
Oh, that's great.
All right?
Yeah.
And
But now back to actual questions. Which country you think has the best approach in dealing with corona?
Well, I mean, in the United States, we have 50 different states who are approaching it in 50 different ways. I don't necessarily know about how every country in Europe is doing it. But I will tell you, I've been very impressed with the intelligent lockdown that the Dutch have done.
Yeah. Why?
Because a lot of it is still open, and it's pretty much common sense.
Yeah.
In Michigan, the governor shut down just about everything except the grocery stores and the big box stores.
Your home state, Michigan.
My home state. Yeah. And so, but you go into one of these, what we call box stores, so they sell groceries, they sell everything. But you could go in there and you could buy paint.
Yeah.
You could go and buy plants to plant in your garden. But the smaller plant stores, greenhouses, the little paint winkel, the governor said, you must be closed. And they said, well, wait a minute. They're selling paint over here. They can't buy it from us. And then she said, you must go to the box stores and you must rope off parts of the store and you can't buy things there. But here you can go to the little store. It's open.
Yeah.
But, only 3 people at a time.
Yeah.
I think you've done a lot of things right.
Okay, although they say that Taiwan is the best country who is dealing with corona.
I met with the Taiwan ambassador earlier this week.
Yeah.
Not ambassador, representative, or whatever you call her here in the Netherlands. And they did do a great job. Early on, by December 31, they had said no more flights from Wuhan.
Yeah, the lockdown for the whole country.
They locked down the country. They also said, when China said, there's no human-to-human ability to spread the virus, they said, we are assuming and we believe that there is human-to-human passage of this virus. And they said that early in January, where China and the WHO were saying, no, you can't spread it human to human. They said, yes, you can. So they put all the right steps in early. And what she said is, we basically didn't listen to what China or what the WHO were telling us.
Yeah. And that you liked that she said that.
Well, it doesn't matter whether I liked it or not. But what was important is that by taking that approach and by doing an independent investigation and analysis, I think in a country of 24 million people, they've had like 6 deaths, not very many cases, and they're the closest to China.
They did it very well. Yeah,
they did it very well.
Yeah, because your country is criticizing the WHO. WHO.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, we're criticizing them for the same reason that people in Germany are. The Australians are criticizing them because.
But you were a big funder of the WHO.
We're the largest funder.
Yeah.
But on a per capita basis, the Dutch are very, very generous to the WHO. We don't think the WHO is doing the things that they need to do to get this crisis under control. Yeah. They've never pushed China to be transparent, give us all of the information. They've never pushed China to say, let European, let American health experts get into Wuhan to really study this crisis, what happened in Wuhan, so that we could take that information, we could learn from it and apply those lessons into Europe. and into the United States. The WHO has not been pushing for transparency. They've not been pushing for change. And so the United States is saying, we need this organization to perform. And if they're not going to perform, we need to figure out some other way for it to perform, because the health consequences have been dramatic. The economic consequences have been dramatic. And we need full transparency, and we need an organization that can lead us through this crisis, and right now we're not sure the WHO can do that.
Do you think that they're playing politics instead of saving lives?
Well, we believe that they're not doing the job that they're supposed to be doing, and so it is costing lives. There is an impact, and they need to reform what their rationale is for this performance. Maybe they're not up to the task. Maybe they're playing politics and those types of things. But we know that we need reform at the WHO.
Okay, but Mr. Hoekstra, we are in the middle of a worldwide crisis.
Yes.
You need an international organization to fight that crisis.
Sure.
Yeah. And in the middle of the crisis, your president said, I don't pay anymore to the WHO.
We said we're going to evaluate for 60 to 90 days.
That's 3 months.
But if you go back and if you don't have an organization in place to confront the challenge that you're facing right now, it's not up to the task. You can't just say, we'll look at this when it's all done.
Yeah.
You have to look at it and say, no, we need this organization to perform. We want a strong WHO, whether that means new leadership, whether it means reform or whatever, we don't know. But and the amazing thing is, you talk to people all around I talk to other ambassadors, I talk to the people in the Dutch government. Those people ultimately will have to speak for themselves. But the message they keep telling me is, Pete, we all know the WHO is broken. But the question is, when do we reform it? America believes we need to reform it as we're in the middle of this crisis. Just like if you're in a war and a general's not doing the job, what do? You don't say, let's leave that general in place until the war is over and then we'll fix it for the next war. Okay. You say, no, this general's not doing the job. We need to get somebody in there who will.
Yeah, okay, but again, 3 months in this big crisis is a long time. You have a new organization.
Well, to either having a new organization, but you don't invest and continue to rely on an organization that's not doing the job. That's not good for any of us.
Okay. Besides the WHO criticizing, you also criticize China because of their corona impact.
We think China needs to be transparent.
They don't?
We don't think so.
Why not?
I mean,
it started in Wuhan. We all saw it.
Wuhan. We don't know exactly where it came from. It didn't allow. Like I said, it hasn't allowed American, European specialists the best in the world. Okay. You take a look at. I talked to Janssen today, who are developing a vaccine, hopefully for COVID. Some of the smartest people in the world, some of the people that work in the European health organizations, or the folks that work in our equivalent in the United States. They should have been allowed into China to investigate this, to get as much information as possible, and to get to a solution and a strategy to confront COVID-19. And that hasn't happened. I mean, come on. Do we really believe that in a country of 1.3 billion people, in a country of 17 million people here in the Netherlands, that these two countries both have about the same number of deaths?
Okay, so you say they're hiding something.
I'm not saying hiding. I'm just saying be transparent.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're not transparent, you're hiding something.
You're hiding.
Yeah. What do they hide? What is their why should they do that?
Why should they do it?
Because it's an international crisis.
It's an international crisis, and it's part of one of the requirements of being a member of the WHO, of which they are a member, that says we will be fully transparent, and they should have been fully transparent up front. Who knows, in what we're seeing here, who knows what we could have learned or what we would have done differently if we would have known that it could be spread from human to human, that we knew that there was a deadly virus out there, if we would have known 2 or 4 weeks earlier.
So the information from the beginning.
The information from the beginning.
Yeah. What are the consequences, in your opinion about the lack of transparency from China?
Well, I think the consequences will be, in the United States, we'll go through a lessons learned. What did we learn, and what did, for the next time this happens? And I think it's one of the reasons I'm very optimistic that coming out of this crisis, the transatlantic relationship will be stronger than ever. Echte Vrienden. We know who our real friends are. You know, Johnson & Johnson, the U.S., with Janssen here, we are coordinating on developing a vaccine. You know, America's investing $456 million. Primarily that will be spent here in the Netherlands because how good Janssen is at doing this. You know, Philips. You know, we work with Philips. They build all of their ventilators in the United States. We worked with them through the War Production Act to ramp up their production so that Philips could make more ventilators, which could then be shipped to their customers around the world.
So you're saying your real friends are in Europe, Western Europe?
And we obviously have our friends. You got Australia, Korea, Japan. But yeah,
so more friends.
More
worldwide.
friends. More friends worldwide. But, you know, echte vrienden. Europe and the United States can trust each other. We can trust each other for supply chains. We can trust each other for transparency and what we know. We can share information. All these companies that I'm talking to, American companies, Dutch companies, you know, they are totally integrating their strategies between their North American operations, their European operations, their operations in Japan or Korea. They're totally integrating these to confront and defeat and to work our way through this crisis.
And you said they're coming stronger out of this crisis.
I think the relationship between the transatlantic relationship will be stronger because of how we go through this crisis.
Okay, let's go to your country, to the United States, because a lot of people in the past weeks lost their jobs.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people, we see pictures of people are standing in rows to get food.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, Well, no, I mean, it's tough.
You're a rich country.
We are a rich country. We are seeing that, you know, the president's economic advisors have said over the weekend, we could see unemployment numbers in the range of where we were during the Great Depression.
Yeah.
Okay, that's scary. That is scary. Yeah. You know, I have 3 kids, a daughter-in-law. 3 of them are still gainfully employed. My one daughter is laid off. It's painful. All right, we're doing, you know, the president has passed in Congress, bipartisan, Republicans and Democrats came together to pass a stimulus package of $2.2 trillion. It'd be like the Netherlands passing a stimulus bill of $100 billion, and you're going to get close to that.
A huge amount of money.
It's a huge amount of money. Number one, to alleviate, you know, the pain that people are doing, and to get them through the immediate crisis, but then to, you know, try to get the economy moving as quickly as possible again. That's good for us. That's good for you.
Yeah, but Trump also is criticized about his way of handling the crisis because he underestimated in the beginning the COVID-19.
So did the Dutch. Okay, much of the world did. Probably one of the only countries that saw the real threat early was Taiwan.
But it's not good to point at another one. Point at yourself.
I'm saying, but I mean, you know, but it's kind of like you're Dutch and you're saying America screwed up. It's kind of like, well, you know what? I think the Dutch maybe underestimated. We all underestimated. Yeah. We never saw these types of consequences coming, and part of it was because we didn't have all of the information. And so, yes, we were caught somewhat unprepared. But, you know, Trump early on closed all flights from China, was heavily criticized for it. Trump closed flights from Europe, was heavily criticized for it. You know, we did the stimulus package. So, yeah, you can always make a case you should have done more sooner.
Okay, let me ask it this way. Is Donald Trump, on this moment, the right leader for the United States?
Oh, absolutely.
And why?
I think he's, you know, like I said, I think he's very decisive in confronting this challenge. He's learning every day. I've been in meetings with him talking when I advised him on the campaign and shortly after he became president on national security. This guy gathers information. He listens. and then he makes a decision. There's no indecision here. This guy is making this decision, and he recognized that at this point in time, in the American political system, he has to lead, and that is what he's trying to do. May he make some mistakes? Sure. I mean, if I came out of the business world, okay, and in the business world, it's very accepted that business leaders will make mistakes. And we believe in the business world and that if you're not making a mistake, it means you're not doing anything. The key is, are you learning from the mistakes that you're making? And in politics, it's slightly different. If you make a mistake, it's like, oh, you're terrible. You made a mistake. Yeah. It happens in all of our lives each and every day. Trump is moving. He's leading. And when he figures out or gets new information that maybe we're going in the right direction, or the wrong direction, he will correct and try to get back on track.
But injecting yourself with toxic stuff.
He didn't say that.
Okay.
Now, okay? No. But I mean, we can get into a long discussion on this.
We don't do that.
We don't? Okay, yes.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, he's not.
But he make mistakes, you say.
We all make mistakes, okay? All right? And, some of the times the things that the president may say may be interpreted differently. There's a big difference in the media in the Netherlands and versus the media in the United States. Yeah. Much of the media on any given day is out to try to say the president is awful. Okay. The kind of discussion that you and I can have, well, I don't know if we agree or disagree, but at least we could have a civil discussion. You can express, or you can ask your questions. I can express my point of view, and I very much appreciate that. It's hard to have that in the U.S.
To close up, another topic to close with, 75 years liberation, 4 and 5 May are coming, but we can go to celebrations, go on the street. How do you cope with that?
We will, on Monday, I will go to 6 small communities around the Netherlands, Brabant, and areas around Market Garden, Operation Market Garden. We will lay wreaths. I will do it with Diane.
That's your wife?
We have my wife, and probably the burgemeester from that city. I know how much I know how much the Dutch appreciate the sacrifices that the Allies made to liberate the Netherlands. We saw that last year with all the commemorations around Operation Market Garden. From a plane that crashed into a field to a huge celebration of thousands of people in Arnhem. We know, and I know that we won't forget, and I know that the Dutch will not forget, and we are so thankful for that.
Real friends.
Echte vrienden.
Yeah. What's your future in the Netherlands? Do you stay for here? This year?
When the president gets reelected, you
don't help him with his campaign?
If the president asks me to go back to the States, I'll ask him. I would do it because I want him reelected. But if he doesn't ask, Diane and I are very, very happy here in the Netherlands. When he's reelected, I expect that we may spend a little bit more time here. The Netherlands is a great place to be.
You like it?
We like the Netherlands. We like the people. We don't agree on every policy, but we agree on a lot more policies, and we agree on a lot more things than what we disagree on. So yes, we like it here. Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what do you want to reach this year? You have a goal?
Well, I mean, I think we all have the same goal to get through this COVID crisis, and we will do it together. And we want people to get healthy. We want to lower the death rate. Yeah. We want a vaccine, and we want to get people back to work.
Okay. Good message. Thanks again, Piet Hoekstra.
Thank you. Always good to be with you.
Yes. In the Netherlands. Dit was Uitgelicht voor vandaag. Dank voor het kijken. Morgen bij Leven en Welzijn. Dan zijn we weer. Fijne avond en graag tot dan. Dag.